Hello everyone, in this Gotham Knights video I'm just going to be sharing with you some tips that I feel are going to help you on your playthrough. They're tips that I figured out going through myself. I've completed the game now and the tips that made the game a little bit easier for me as I went. I just wanted to share them for new players or for players that are currently going through it that might be struggling. And I think they're going to be tips that are going to help on like hard playthrough if you want to do that as well. So there's about 5 or 6 tips in total. We're going to go through each one of these, and some of them the game doesn't really explain to you that well as well, so you may not know how to do it. Now, the first tip I wanted to go over is just the settings. I covered the settings in another video, but just in case this one gets more views or whatnot, I think it's worth mentioning again. Just bring up your options menu, go into your options, and the first thing here that you can change, which is going to be good if you've set the difficulty on your first playthrough to too low a difficulty or too high. You can come in here and change the difficulty and amend it to whatever you want to make the experience better for you. But also in here underneath the UI setting, one thing that I noticed right towards the end of my playthrough was the auto dismiss loading screens option. This is set by default to off, which means when a loading screen comes up, there's a loading icon, and once that finishes, it'll want you to press a button to proceed. Well, if you turn the auto dismiss loading screens on, once a loading screen is finished, it'll automatically go past that loading screen and back into the gameplay, which I find very, very useful if you want that. This is where the setting is. And then finally, under accessibility, there's a couple of settings here that can really help, especially on the tough boss encounters. Mr. Freeze is one that I can think of. It's these two at the bottom. There's escape frozen status activation. Now, this by default is set to tap repeatedly. So if you do get frozen, you got to keep on tapping X to get out of it. Change this to tap once. You simply just got to tap it once and you're out of the frozen and you can get back into combat. This works much better, especially on the harder boss fight with Freeze, as he will freeze you quite a lot potentially, and just a tap of the button will get you out of that. And on the other hand, there's an interaction trigger as well, which is set to hold by default. You can change this to tap to make that a bit quicker also. Now, one thing the game doesn't teach you unless you come into the training menu is smoke bombs. And this is very, very handy. I actually didn't know how to do a smoke bomb pretty much my whole playthrough, and I wish I did. I went through the training just for the trophy. You have to complete all of the training exercises, and this is the only reason I found out how to do it. So I'm including this tip now because with the smoke bomb, it is perfect to get out of the way of enemies that have alerted to you. Now, obviously, in the training, there's not too many, but there's scenarios during the game when there might be too many enemies. You just want to go out of sight for a little bit so you can then start silently taking them down or whatnot, just to get yourself a bit free of the aggro. Now, it's really easy to do. All you got to do is hold L1. But you do need something above you just to grapple to. So you can see this here. The enemies are on me. If I just hold L1, I'm going to do a smoke bomb. I'm going to go to that grapple. And then the enemies are not going to know where I've gone to. With a little bit of time, those red icons are going to disappear. I'm going to be able to attack them again and stealth kill them if I want to. You can see now that they are now on yellow icons. And that guy was just below me. This guy now, you'll notice the stealth attack will come up if he gets close enough to me, but it just means they're searching for you again. Eventually that will also disappear, and there you go, there's a silent takedown or ambush takedown I can do, but that will eventually disappear and the enemies will go back to normal. Just hold L1, grapple up, and that's how you smoke bomb. Now, another thing that I learned during the training, which I didn't know through my playthrough, was how to perfect strike. I had the objective quite a lot to perfect strike. I'd never ever did one or weren't able to do it, and it's because you got to perfect evade first. So if you two get the objective to perfect strike and you're wondering how to do it, you want to complete the objective, you just got to get the enemy to attack you, do a perfect evade, follow it up with a strike, and it'll be a perfect strike. You see it's gone to 1 out of 5 in the top left corner there, and that's what a perfect strike is. You're not going to get a perfect strike any other way. It's got to be after a perfect evade. Just straight away go back in with a strike and it'll count as a perfect strike. You should be trying to do this anyway with any evade, but yeah, it's a very handy feature and it's something that I didn't know till later on in the game. Just remember, the strike has to come instantly after the evade. Now, the next thing, I'm pretty sure the game doesn't teach you whatsoever, and it's mod fusion. So if you come into your mod screen, you can see you gather a lot of mods over time. We've got some suit mods, we've got some melee mods, we've got some range mods here. You're able to fuse some together to create better mods, and all you got to do from this screen is press triangle to go into the fuse mod ship screen. Now, all to do this, all you're going to do is select 4 mods, and it's going to take the highest rarity mod for what it's going to fuse into, and it'll fuse them together to make a better one. So we're going to take these 4 worst mods that I got here. I got a 19, I got another 19, a third 19, and a 20. I'll hold X to fuse them together, and it's going to give me another level 20 epic mod there with some better stats. We can do the same on the melee one, so we'll take our 4 worst. We've got a 19 epic, a 19 uncommon, a 19 rare, and another 19 epic. If I fuse all these together by holding X, again, it's going to give me a better mod chip to use to put onto my melee weapon. You can do it with the range weapons as well. We'll take the 19 and the other 3 19 ones here. We're going to fuse these together, and it will give me another 19 mod, and it's going to be rare with better stats again. So make sure that any mods that you're not using, you come into the screen and you fuse them together to get some better mods out of it. What you can also do by doing this is unlock a trophy or achievement, which is the reason I found this out, because for fusing 50 mods together, you'll unlock the trophy or achievement. Just for the last couple of tips now, we're going to be in combat. Now, going through your playthrough, I can't recommend enough is just to scout the battle ahead. So you can see I've got a crime on the streets here. Rather than just go in or just start silent takedown in, I'm just going to hold down on the D-pad. I'm going to start scanning all of the enemies. Now this is very handy because earlier in the game you're required to get clues. There's a lot of objectives as well which require you to interrogate enemies as well. We've got no enemies to interrogate here, but quite often you're gonna scan an enemy and there'll be a little question mark that appears above their head. It means that they can be interrogated, so you can either silently or you can do it not silent as well by just not killing them, but you got to get them in a grapple, so you can press triangle to then interrogate them. So if you're silent, you grapple them by just pressing R2 when you go up behind them, then press triangle to interrogate. But if you're in combat, you just got to deal enough damage to them so you're able to press R2 to grapple with them. Once grappled, interrogate, you're going to get clues to unlock more crimes, more missions, which means more XP. You should be doing this at the start of every encounter, especially early days. And then my last tip, just to finish off this video, is just momentum. Momentum is absolutely key in this game. I'm sure you're aware of that, and pretty much everybody is. But momentum is what is going to get you through some very difficult boss battles. So against these enemies, the likes of these, your normal melee attacks are going to be fine for the most part. But just make sure you're working on getting that momentum bar filled out. You can see here that I can fill it out by just doing range attacks as well. Once you've got some momentum bars filled out, make sure you're using them against priority targets. One of these targets is like this drone person here. I find these very, very annoying. So I'll basically work my momentum up to make sure I've got a bar or two to use against these, and I can use a momentum attack against them to deal much more damage and then get rid of them much sooner. Providing I press the right button, of course. R1 and square is one of my favourite momentum attacks. You deal a lot of damage, and it's one that I used on many of the tougher enemies. And that is the end of my tips video. I hope some of these do help you. I think with the smoke one, that one I certainly didn't know. And like I said, the perfect strike, I found them out at the end of the game. I wish I knew them sooner. It would have helped in some encounters for sure. Let me know other tips in the video comments if you've got some of your own. I think people would appreciate reading through them. That's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and share if you enjoyed the video, and to support it, subscribe for more Gotham Knights content from me. Until next time, stay safe and peace out.